Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the master number 3. This happens to be the 3KA, keyed alike, to key number 3203. It's a number 3 padlock is what it is. It happens to be keyed alike, meaning the client ordered 6, which happens to be how many come in a box. And they wanted them all to a specific key. Very typical. This is actually a building material company on the West Coast. They're either buying them for a client or for internal use. It'd be very common for a contractor to call us up every 18 months and order, another 3 boxes of padlocks. They'll say, yep, I want the same padlock, I want the same key number. Hopefully you're keeping records because they aren't about what they bought. And you'll know exactly not only what the padlock was, but at least as importantly, if not more so, in fact, is the key number, the 3203. They're going to want the same padlock key that all of their project managers, all their superintendents, all their crews have to get into the secure storage, the hardware lockup room, whatever it might be. So what's really important starting with these padlocks is to know the size. But this series of what they would call general security padlocks, the 1, the 3, the 5, those are the part numbers, laminated steel, riveted together, and insanely old concept, laminated plates, warded padlocks that would have what you might call a skeleton key. Some people have referred to it as that, and it's an apt moniker to use because in the locksmithing industry, we would literally say that the key has been skeletonized. It's been substantially cut out or notched or material removed so that it will bypass the wards, the blockages inside of the padlock in this case. While this is a pin tumbler cylinder and is nothing like those warded padlocks in that regard, it's very much like them in that it's laminated plates. Now, when there was a warded lock, the laminated plates, there would be different of the laminated plates that they stack. The hole inside of them, or the prep in the center of the plate, would either be like this, or it would be like that, or like that. A different sort of prep to allow the key to either, it'd be wider, I suppose, to either not turn or to turn. And they would change, and if you look at a skeletonized padlock key, where they have the preparations, the notches that go in, but the projections, that's where that plate's got to be made longer so that the key can actually rotate inside the space, is the bottom line. And as you can gather, that sort of construction would be extremely simple to put together, just stacking the laminated plates. Well, this concept is not unlike that. However, the cylinder, there's actually a cylinder inside of here. It's a pin tumbler cylinder. That technology is 170 years old, 160 years old. Its concept is 4,000 years old, but it was Linus Yale Jr. who patented the pin tumbler lock. There are different types of tumblers that exist. There is the lever tumbler, which really came first. 17th, 18th, 19th century, 20 and 21st century technology locks will use the lever tumbler. Back in the 19th century, it was the 17th and 18th century, it was the standard way by which locks were locked. They're very much still in use today, and while everyone will use a key that looks like this, just imagine it to be larger in your house key or whatever, that's a pin tumbler. This could also be a disc or wafer tumbler as well. You wouldn't really know. This could easily be a disc tumbler, which is a rectangular piece of metal that has a cutout in it. Flat piece of metal. That's the third tumbler. Pin, lever, disc tumbler. Lever tumblers are used in 21st century technology to guard safes. The more levers there are in the lock, the more levers are in the pack, the more secure that the lock is. Outside of North America, you'll very often find lever locks guarding that material, guarding valuables, in fact. We don't use them here. It's just not the way that it evolved in the United States. But you might use it every day if you go to the bank and have a safe deposit box. That flat steel key with the weird notches, guess what? That's a lever tumbler. That's technology that's hundreds of years old. It just so happens to be a fairly secure technology that works in the design of a safe deposit lock, box, assembly, or safes, flat, allows the concept of the guard key. And what happens is, as you may know, the guard has to put their key in first and turn that. At that point, you can then insert and turn your key. But without the guard key, your key will never work. And the lever tumbler concept, what happens when the guard key goes in, it will solve that lever pack. Solving that lever pack allows your lever pack, the user's lever pack, to be solved as well. Without solving this lever pack, it won't work. But pin tumbler technology in this regard would be considered more secure. It just would be, rather than that old warded padlock. Where have you ever seen somebody stick a paper clip in something and make it happen? And I know nothing of picking locks in the sense of doing it. But that concept is sound in the sense that you're using a tool to bypass the wards, like that skeletonized key to turn, to allow room for the padlock shackle to pop up. And that's what happens here. When the tail piece moves, it creates, because the shackle, first of all, is spring biased, it's wanting to push up. As soon as you turn the key, there are two ball bearings here and here. The shackle wants to burst up. As soon as you turn the key, each of the ball bearings can then move in, which they do, allowing the shackle to pop up. There's your cutouts for the ball bearings right there. And you can kind of see evidence of the ball bearing right at the tip of my finger, right there. That's how these work. It'd be fun to cut one of these apart and take a look at the inner workings, but we've kind of covered it. So let's move on. So what's important about the number 3? The size, really. Why you're looking at this versus a different size. And padlocks are first and not as importantly known by the size of the body. The number 3 is about 1.5 inches. The height of the body is about 1.5 inches. The thickness of the body is about 3/4 inch. These are bumpers that are on here that are there to give some longevity to the installation, make it more durable from getting bumped into the fence post, whatever you have it installed on. But what people always need to know is what's the size of the shackle, meaning the clear width, the clear height to the apex, and then the diameter. So the width of the number 3 is 0.613. The height, I'm going to go with that being right about 0.767. 0.767. The diameter of the shackle, 0.28 inch is the diameter of the shackle. For 730 seconds, maybe? Is that right? Nope. Maybe 930 seconds? Yeah, 930 seconds. I like that better. And there you go. Let's switch now to the screen view and let's take a closer look at the supporting information. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. Okay, here's the padlock we're looking at. Let's take a look at some photographs that we have linked to down below here. There's the box. There's the labeling on the case, I should say. There's the box. There's your padlock and 2 keys. Just different views on the padlock itself. Number 3, master lock. Here's a close-up of the keyway. I think that's a WR1 is this keyway. We'll talk more about that in a moment. You can see evidence of the pin tumbler there. The prep for the ball bearing locking that we discussed. Oops. Then your 2 original keys. Okay, now, extended description information, laminated steel tumbler padlock, laminated steel pin tumbler padlock, dimensional properties, dual ball bearing locking, a 4-pin, I said WR1, it's a W1, I think it's W1, we'll take a look. Pin to the 3203 key, that that is what we'd call an indirect code, where the 3203 via a reference manual or reference document will then relate the bidding or how the key is cut. It's just a reference point is what that is. Non-key retaining means that you can remove the key in either the locked or unlocked position. Conventional cylinder. There's a link below this video to the cut sheet. It's right here. This will show the laminated steel locks. The different part numbers are here. What changes with all of them are the dimensions. So your A, your B, your C dimension. You can look that up here. And here's our number 3. The keying options are here. KD for keyed different or keyed alike. You can order them either way. If you order them keyed alike, you can specify a bidding that you want, like in the case where you want more locks keyed to the same bidding number, meaning you don't want to introduce a different cut key into your system, in which case you would specify the keying number that you need. Or don't specify, or just say key different. You intentionally want them all keyed differently for whatever reason. And they can do other work like master keying the material as well. Now there's a link below this video as seen here to the manufacturer's page. But first there's a product catalog. Okay, this is a pretty epic document. I'm going to allow you to go through this. This is going to be an encyclopedic document as it pertains to master. I wanted to draw your attention to the link to the manufacturer's page here. And from here you can pull up not only all of the master products we sell by means of this horizontal navigation as seen here, but also a link to the product catalog that's here, in addition to the one that's on the page, but then some technical information. Master lock keys and keyways. There's our W1 right there. 4-pin. That's it. That's what it looks like. This document I've been able to use in the past to do two things. To determine accurately or very reasonably accurately what keyway I was working with, and then to exclude the possible keyways that I was working with. I have a client who will routinely email me pictures of keys, just out of the blue. I get an email with pictures of keys. Great. Let the hunt begin. So using this document when I'm working on his master stuff, I can figure out the difference between W1 and W2K. You see my point, because you can look at this profile. That's the milling profile. Pardon me. That's the broaching profile in the cylinder plug when you're looking down into the plug of the cylinder, not the end of the key. Well, he had one of those keys that was not on this chart at all. Contacted the factory and they said, yes, of course, we have restricted keyways. They're not published naturally. And I was able to get the factory that information, and they were able to expand the client system based on getting the pictures of his restricted keyway. So that worked out very well. It doesn't always work out like that with restricted keys, but in this case it did. So it's a very handy document. Speaking of handy documents, there's also a link to the Master Lock Technical Manual, and by no means is everything possible that Master has available in this, but what's published is here. Some of the better padlocks that can be taken apart, cylinders removed, your cylinders installed into them, other items that they have, how to go about combinating their cylinders is in this document. And in addition to that, service equipment is in here as well. If you work with Master, you're probably going to want to read this document front to back to begin with and then refer to it. That's what a disc or wafer tumbler looks like. They make a lot of padlocks with these lower security type of tumbler construction as well as cam locks. Pretty nice document to have access to. Plus, the people over at the factory are extremely knowledgeable. Let's wrap up this video on camera. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. So keep in mind, anything in that master catalog we can provide you with. These low-numbered laminated steel padlocks are, of course, the garden variety, but they make solid brass padlocks. Better quality, better for exterior use. They're also going to have a full complement of padlocks that you can install, possibly, your cylinder into them, whether it be small format, or some sort of a high security cylinder platform, Master can accommodate that material. Padlocks are very often, not always, are very often part of a greater keying system, especially in the military, where they have doors inside of buildings, and then they've got fences and gates that have padlocks, and they need that keying system to extend through those padlocks that are controlling those gates and fences and whatnot. So a very typical application. Any questions on the number 3 Master padlock or any other Master product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you very much. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up. Please subscribe and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.